Early start for the competition today. The organizers figuring they want to get as many races in before some inclement weather may move into the area. So we got an early start at 7 instead of 8 o'clock, and that's why we're further into the schedule, if you weren't aware of that early start, why we are so far along in the schedule at this point, 8:26 Eastern Time. On the course right now, the men's double semifinal A, the heavy doubles from Quad Cities, Wakefield and Charis in lane 1, Kreutzmann and Silberstein from Oars in lane 2, Cambridge's Wellborn and Calwart in lane 3, Viega de Rouvre and Cancio from Miami in lane 4, Jenkins and Fancher from GMS in lane 5, and Teglehar and Hedden from St. Joseph High School, New Jersey in lane 6. In the men's double semifinal A. And it is that lane 4 out in front. The boat from Miami, the fast qualifiers in the time trial, right behind them in second, as you would expect. The second place in the time trial, the boat from Cambridge. And then other competitors sticking right with them.
Yeah, look at that good shot there of Cambridge, just about a half a length ahead of two boats that are essentially the same speed yet again in lanes 2 and 5. So we're seeing that pretty consistently in lane 2, Oars, lane 5, GMS. And you can see that it's going to be a battle because out in front is Miami. You don't see them in the picture there to the right. They actually have a little bit of open water on these three boats. But those three boats all connected with GMS trying to stay in the mix. That GMS boat does have one athlete that finished 4th in this event last year, so we've got some experience in the GMS boat. We also have Quad Cities, not to be counted out, up in lane 1. Their teammates finished 2nd in this event last year at Lake Natoma at the U.S. Rowing Youth National Championships. But again, we're seeing similar speeds from the boats kind of trying to make the 2nd and 3rd spots, but we are seeing a significant lead out in front, this boat from Miami in lane 4.
In lane 4 there, the locals from Miami, they most likely raced on this race course a few times, given that it only is about a 3-hour drive for those guys. But coming out of that time trial, they kind of set the tone. They didn't make it close even in the time trial. So this lead that they have will be interesting to see if it unfolds similarly, as they did have the fastest time on Thursday by a little over 5 seconds over the Redwood Scullers, who came in 2nd place in that race, who you will see next up in the second semifinal race that we have going on here. But as you could see a little bit earlier, that Miami crew definitely has some support over on the bike path there, with a couple of Miami coaches following along, watching, I'm sure goading along, paying attention to maybe making little tweaks here and there from race to race, because these athletes, as they enter this regatta, these could potentially be some of their final races for the year, some of them for their high school careers. But even when you come to this point, you still have the opportunity to gain speed through tiny technical tweaks that you can make, knowing from race to race that your coaches are following along and can give you that external feedback as well as internal feedback that you're getting from yourselves here in this race.
Miami out in the lead, GMS and Cambridge right there following them. A good view from the Miami boat. Back to the followers. Oars trying to hold on to 4th place right now and perhaps move forward. Then it's back to the St. Joe and Quad Cities boats that qualified through the repechage. But this Miami boat, from the very beginning, out in the lead and with an open water advantage over the rest of the field here in this first semifinal for the men's doubles.
And only about 33 strokes a minute, so we'll see if Miami really shows much of what they will do, presumably in the A final, as they're out in front of the rest of the field. But again, look at these boats connected for spots 2 and 3. One of them is going to be left out, and very disappointed that they won't compete for the medals in the A final tomorrow. You've got GMS, you've got Cambridge, you've got Oars, all right there in the mix, trying to finish up here behind Miami. Here we are, last 200 meters. This is semifinal 1 of the men's youth double here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing Youth National Championships. Miami, I think, has decided they are not going to take it up, and they continue to actually move away from the field, so a ton of power in that boat.
It looks like Orrs is beginning to pour it on, trying to catch up and maybe grab that third spot, because it looks like Cambridge had a little bit of a navigation problem and began to go over the buoy line right there. But here they come to the line in the first semifinal for the men's doubles. It will be Miami in first, qualifying, and here they come on the outside, the GMS boat trying to stay ahead of the rest, and what a tight finish here. But it's GMS, Cambridge, Orrs in that order, but a very tight finish, looking for that third spot in the A final. In the meantime, Y Quad Cities trying to fend off St. Joseph High School, New Jersey right at the finish line, and it is Y Quad Cities coming in fifth. Exciting finish, looking for that final A final spot, and it was quite amazing there.
Yeah, 0.2 of a second.
As you can see here with this lane 5 crew out of GMS, you could see them about 300 meters to go make that decision of, hey, we might need to sprint a little bit early here. They pushed themselves into that spot just by a hair to get ahead of those two crews on the far side of the lanes. You could see their bow guy looking over for about the last 5 or 10 strokes or so, though. So they did just enough